Whether you want them for eggs, you just think they're cute, or your spouse is forcing you to get them, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know to take care of your backyard chickens. Chickens realistically need 3 things to thrive, and that's food, water, and shelter. The main food that is gonna be available to most people is gonna be a layer feed. And layer feed, you can literally get it at Walmart, IFA, Tractor Supply, whatever's available to you. We're using this IFA stuff right here. It's got a 16% protein, which is exactly what you need for your egg laying hen. I really enjoy layer feed, and I honestly believe that it should be a staple of your hen's diet, especially if you're looking at egg laying hens. It's gonna be fortified with calcium, and it's gonna have all the probiotics, and it's gonna have all the protein, everything your hen needs to produce the eggs. That layer feed is gonna have it for you. But that's not the only thing that's good for chickens. You can also feed them table scraps, like any of your organic stuff that you get from the kitchen. Let's say your fruits, your veggies, all that kind of stuff. You know, you're chopping your food up. You have all these little extra pieces, like the ends of your lettuce, the ends of your celery, and all these different things. Your chickens are gonna love those, and it's gonna give them more nutrition, and it's gonna be kind of a treat for them. It's gonna be a snack. My family, we don't send really anything to the landfill anymore. All of our extra food goes to these girls right here. Realistically, there's not a whole lot from your kitchen that you can't give your birds. Now, we did a whole video on what you can and can't give chickens, and I'll put that down in the description below. But what chickens also love are actual chicken treats. This is Grub Terra. This is by far the best chicken treat that I've ever used, and this is something that I get time after time because my girls go crazy for it. I don't know if you can hear them over here. They see the bag. You hear that? They see the bag. They know it's coming, and they're telling me, hurry it up, get it over here, because they want it. Grub Terra is actually an affiliate of mine. I honestly absolutely love their product. I'm gonna put a link in the description for a discount code of 10%. This stuff is awesome. There's also hundreds of other different types and different brands of all these different chicken treats. Get online, go do your research, get on Amazon, get on Grub Terra, get wherever you need to go and look up just chicken treats. And that way you're giving them your table scraps, you're giving them your treats, you're giving them their layer pellet, you're giving them kind of this combination of a whole bunch of different things, and that's what's gonna lead to the healthiest chicken. Another great thing to do if you have the room and if you have the property is to free range. Free range eggs are probably some of the best eggs you will ever have. The chickens are gonna go out, they're gonna go out in the field, they're gonna be eating the grubs and the seeds and the grasses and all kinds of different awesome little things that they're foraging around and finding, and they're gonna be able to kind of get the nutrition they need themselves. So if you do have the option to either free range them full-time or free range them part-time, you should definitely do that because it's a really good advantage. It's a money saver. It's gonna help you a lot. If you don't have that option, like I said, layer pellets are honestly a really good way to go. It's kind of a well-rounded, everything they need. They're gonna produce eggs, they're gonna produce good eggs. It's kind of everything you need all wrapped up in one nice, neat little, relatively cheap package. But if you do have your kitchen scraps and you do have these other things that you can kind of supplement with and kind of give them that extra treat, they're gonna love you for it. Next up is water. Eggs are made up of roughly 74% water. That means most of that egg that you are eating and that you're trying to get is water. So what does that mean? That means the chickens need water, constant access to fresh water. There's tons of different ways to kind of make it so you don't have to go to the coop once, twice a day to kind of give them water. You can get a bucket with these little nipples on it, and that's honestly what we use 90% of the time. And it's just these little nipples that you can screw into your buckets or into a PVC pipe or a rain barrel or honestly anything. And the nipples we use are my favorite ones because they have a back screw on it. A lot of the other ones don't have the back screw, so this one you can really tighten it down from both sides. I'll put a link for it in the description. And we also did a video on how we built that, and I'll put that down there as well. There's a lot of stuff in the description today because I'm not getting in depth on a lot of this stuff because I already have videos that are really in depth on each one of these things separately. With this bucket of water that we have, we fill it up probably once every 3 days. It does get a little bit warm, so what we do to kind of supplement that, to give them some really just good fresh water, is we have a just water dish out in their run, and we go out there and we fill it up once a day, just give them that really just kind of fresh, cold, nice water, so they have some good fresh water out in their run, and they also have that whole bucket of water in their coop. Fresh water, super important. Next up is shelter. You need a chicken coop to put your chickens in and to keep them safe. This is the setup we have. This is a lifetime shed that we converted into a chicken coop, and this has worked really well for us. It's big, it keeps all the chickens happy, it gives them this nice little mansion that they get to live in. Other things that you do need in your chicken coop that are extremely important and you can't do without, you need roosting bars, and roosting bars can come in the form of a ladder like this. It can come in the form of just screwing pieces of wood across, corners of your coop. There's a lot of different videos on YouTube. We've got some videos, as well as other channels have really good videos on how to build some awesome roosting bars. make sure that your coop has a good set of roosting bars for the amount of chickens that you have. The next thing you need in your chicken coop are nesting boxes. These are just, literally, these are just totes that we got from Walmart. They also have a bunch of different ones on Amazon as well that are the exact same thing, but these have worked really well for us. You can also get nesting boxes that are made for chickens, that are actual nesting boxes. You can build your own nesting boxes. You can DIY whatever you need to do. Just make sure you have some nesting boxes in your chicken coop to give your hens a nice, cozy place to go in and lay their eggs, because really that's why we're doing this, right? We want them to lay eggs, and you want to give them a comfortable place to do that. We touched on the water and the food a little bit, but this is how they're set up in our coop. We have our food right here. They can come down here and just kind of peck the food out of the holes, and then we have the water with the nipples right here so they can come over and get their water. Those are the main components you need for a chicken coop. Maintenance and upkeep on keeping your chicken coop clean, it's not nearly as bad as you think it would be. What'd you say to me? We use what's called the deep litter method. This is where you put a small layer of your bedding into your coop. Oh, there's so many feathers. This is where, to get started, you put a small layer of bedding in your coop. The chickens are gonna poop on it, you put more bedding. Chickens are gonna poop on it, you put more bedding, and you layer it like that. After about 6 months, you pull all that bedding out and you put it into your compost pile. And then you use that bedding over in your garden. Now, I'm not going in depth on the deep litter method. I don't have a video for this one, so there will not be one in the description. So here in about the next month or so, we're gonna clean this out. We're gonna do a video on it. So if you go ahead and go down and hit that subscribe button, you'll be able to catch that video when it comes out. The next thing you need kind of attached to your chicken coop is gonna be a chicken run. Our chicken run, we just built them out of 2x4s. It was just super DIY. We connected it to a shed. This whole thing is DIY. It keeps them safe and kind of confined during the day. A lot of people will put a automatic door or door they can open and close on their chicken coop, and they let their chickens free range during the day. Some people can get away without a chicken run because they free range their chickens. They have plenty of space to frolic and skip and prance all through the fields and just have a jolly old time. There are a lot of different price ranges of chicken coops. You can go for like a beginner, just like kit coop, like a prefabricated coop, and those will run at the very least $200, and they go all the way up to thousands of dollars. In my opinion, prefabricated coops are gonna be for somebody in their first year of chickens, and they're really just kind of dipping their toes in and they wanna see if it's right for them. Anything after that, a prefabricated, just one of those little kit coops, it's honestly not gonna be in your best interest to get one. If at all possible, build a DIY coop. I'm not a very handy person, so I took a shed that was already built and I turned it into a chicken coop. I hate that I keep saying this, but I have a video on that too. I will put it in the description of how we built our coop shed thing. There's also companies that will build a chicken coop for you. There's a lot of different options and different things you can look into. With the chicken coop is gonna come the safety aspect. Everything that walks is gonna wanna eat your chickens. They are the bottom of the food chain, more or less. I mean, except for bugs. I guess they eat bugs. Everything wants to eat your chickens. You're looking at skunks, the cougar that lives in my house, snakes, raccoons, all kinds of different hawks, all kinds of different critters are gonna wanna eat your chickens. So you really need to predator-proof your coop. There's a ton of different ways to do this, especially with your chicken run. This is gonna be the main place you need to predator-proof. And the reason for that is animals can dig underneath the fence of your chicken run. So you wanna make sure that you're digging the fence down into the ground, or you're putting cinder blocks down underneath the ground. You can also put like a skirt at the bottom of your chicken run that will make it so animals can't dig under it, or you can put a bottom into your chicken run. Either way, you wanna make sure nothing can dig down and into your chicken run, and that is probably the most important part, as well as fencing on the top of your chicken run, because hawks and any kind of bird of prey are gonna wanna prey on your chickens. So make sure that you keep them safe, you secure your chicken run. As far as the chicken coop goes, most chicken coops are gonna come pretty well predator proofed. The most you might need to do is make sure that your door is closed every night, whether it be an automatic door or you come out here and actually close it yourself. You wanna make sure that your chicken coop is completely closed off at night, because at night is when a lot of these predators are gonna be coming out. A lot of your skunks and your raccoons, at least for us, those are the two main ones we need to worry about here. This one is important because I feel like there's a misconception here. Backyard chickens for 95% of people are gonna be more expensive than the eggs you're getting at the store. So if you're wanting chickens to save money on eggs, this might be something you wanna rethink. And I'm not trying to talk you out of it, because I really do think that you should get chickens because they're great. But I don't want you to go into this with the expectation that it's gonna be cheaper than getting eggs from the store, because it's not, especially now the eggs have gone back down. Raising these things from these tiny little fluff balls, you are turning them into adult birds. You are getting food in the form of eggs in your own backyard. There's nothing better than that. There's honestly a whole lot of things you should consider before you get your chickens, and you can find all of those in this video right here. In this video, I gain about 40 pounds, and I talk about everything you need to consider before you get your chickens. So go watch that video right there, and I will see you there.